so picked up another load of wood, got 18 2x4s. This is going to be the new top of the workbench. So the first thing I got to do is take the last like ½ inch off of both sides. Maybe a little less than that, maybe 3/8. But we're going to trim those down with the table saw and then get to work. Also, it's getting pretty dark, so I may or may not film the ripping them down on the table saw. You'll see what I decide next. And if I don't, I've got a video detailing all of that from the last time I built a butcher block worktop. Okay, so got all the boards trimmed down. Now we've got these nice square edges. So now it's time to glue them together, but I did say there was going to be a twist. And that twist has to do with this threaded rod. So I got 3 sections of threaded rod. This is 7/16, so just under a ½ inch in diameter. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually run that through every single board in 3 places, and that'll cinch everything together, line it up, make the glue up way nicer and easier, I hope. These are 3 feet in length, which is more than I need, but that's good because that means we have room to compress. The other thing that I got to do is basically we're not going to just drill it all willy-nilly. We're going to I made some marks. I had decided to go a foot from the edge because that seemed like a nice round number. Then one in the middle. And then these are all measured the same distance from the top. Now I've also got a lot of these guys marked right here as to which piece is going to be the top. That was basically what came out of the table saw the straightest without any weirdness. So we're going to be referencing off of that top surface with the other board, because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to drill this one out first, then we're going to hold this against each adjacent board, and that's going to be our template. That way all of our holes line up so we don't have to worry about anything. In theory. The other thing is, so these guys, the other reason for running these pieces of all thread is that not all of you guys have big old giant bar clamps. I even only have a couple. You really do need a lot of bar clamps to clamp something like this together. So doing it like this means you need to buy fewer clamps, and then it ends up stronger in the long run. So we're going to start by drilling the holes. But we're not going to just go ahead and drill the hole, because I've got this bolt, or this nut and washer to go on the end, and I want that to be recessed. So what I'm going to do, if you happen to go with smaller hardware, you could use a spade bit. I don't have a spade bit big enough for this. I think my biggest is like 1 inch. So we're going to go real old school, and I'm going to use a bit and brace with an adjustable screw bit, auger bit. So this here is my vintage Irwin auger bit. Basically what I've got to do is I'm going to loosen it up. I need to actually put the smaller guy in, because this one's a little bit too big. I'm going to hold that in the center, and that seems about right. It'll end up just a little bit bigger than the washer that I have. Now I'm going to put that into my brace. And we are going to start drilling our hole. I'm going to make it probably just a little bit less than the thickness of this nut deep. I want it to be fairly flush, but if it sticks out a little bit, I'm okay with that. Feels about right. Depth, that'll sit there. That'll be pretty flush. And that's going to look pretty good. So now I've got to do it just for the other two. Okay, so I've got those drilled. Now, next step up is going to be to drill our pilot through, and I'm actually going to drill this through into our first board. The other thing to mention is that I'm using a 9/16 drill bit because I want there to be a lot of extra wiggle room for these boards so that they'll slip on to the all thread nice and easily. So we're going to use our template board. Not sure if that battery's dead or if the drill just thought it was kicking back, but I'm going to put a new battery on just in case. So that's our first one drilled. Now I've just got to do, I don't know, what's 18 times 3? That many. Damn it, it's like just under 60. So, I'm going to do a bunch of those, and then we'll check back. Alright, got them all drilled out and labeled. Not that the order really matters, but yeah, now it's going to be time to kind of stick them together. And we'll test fit them with the rods first, and then we'll go. There we go. That's all the boards. They're all lined up through the screw. So that just basically just tells us that yes, everything was in alignment. So next step is to take this all apart, put all the glue down, and then we're going to use a threaded rod and a crap ton of clamps and clamp it together. Clamp squishing like 1.5 inches. We'll see if we can get it anymore. The whole thing should end up being 27 inches wide. It'll probably be a little bit wider. So there we go, all clamped up. Let's just wait till tomorrow and see how we did. Ooh, and better tell the clamp police I'm using my clamps wrong. According to all of the people on my clamp video. For the record, I know those two are doing basically nothing. And I don't actually have them very tight. They just bow like that because they're kind of crap. Anyway. We'll see what that looks like tomorrow. Okay, so next day, glue should be dry, so we should be ready to pull the clamps off. Turned out pretty well. It's a little bit lumpy, but it is pretty smooth. So I shouldn't really have much more than a 1/16 or so to pull off the top of this, and then it should be good to go. So yeah, gonna set it up on some sawhorses and take a plane to it. Alright guys, so I've been back at it trying to plane this down, get it nice and smooth. I'm going to be doing this in a few different passes. Some of you may remember this is the plane I got in the box of goodies for, I think it was 20 bucks off Marketplace. I just gave it a fresh, quick little tune-up, smoothed out the bottom. It's far from perfect, and then a little bit of sharpening on the iron. So it's been doing pretty good. I really just need something rough that I don't care about to rough it in. Then we're going to use my good Stanley No. 5 plane to really level it down, and I may or may not use a belt sander and a random orbit sander. But I got pretty tired. I did about half of it, but I still got a lot more to do. I'm also going kind of sideways strokes on this because that's going to let it level between the boards a little bit better. So yeah, just gotta keep plugging away. Oh, and if you happen to have like a thickness planer wide enough for this, that makes it real nice. Or even just a hand electric planer, but I don't have one of those, and I don't think I really need one. So I'm gonna just keep plugging away with the old standby. Alrighty then. That I think that may have done it. Switched over to the number 5 plane. It's a little bit longer. That means it's gonna not follow the undulations, but smooth them out, making this a lot flatter. It's still a little bit wiggly, but that's kind of what you get when you're using hand tools. I could probably spend a few more hours and make this dead perfect. And if it was for my kitchen, I would do that. But this is about 99% perfect, which is more than good enough for a workbench that's going to get beaten up within a month. So the idea is that it's a big slab of wood, and it's going to stick around for a while. So I succeeded in that. I'm going to probably go just a little bit more with the number 5. Then I'll probably give it a sand. Oddly enough, the reason for the sanding isn't to make it smoother, it's to make it rougher, because a well-sharpened plane, it does a really good job at making it too smooth. So sometimes if you're putting some poly on it, you need something to bite, for it to bite into. So I'll probably rough it up with some 120 grit and then apply some finish. Alright, there we go. Got the bench installed. Got a new cheap little shelf to support the radio. It looks kind of the same as before. That's kind of a different project I'm working on, but it's over there. I did move the grinder to over there, just because it was going to work out a little bit better. And I've got a wire running around to right there. There's a little extension cord. That's all on a circuit breaker, so if anything ever goes wrong, we'll have some protection. But yeah, there we go. A lot cleaner. Again, I'm still sort of moving in, and need to do a little bit more organizing. But once that happens, I'll certainly give a little bit of a toolbox tour. That way you guys can know what's behind those drawers. Most of the tools are there. Some supplies and some tools are there. Some supplies and some tools are over there. That's more of the oddball stuff. And I've got to sort through and take care of those. So once I do that, there'll be a good toolbox tour. So keep an eye out for that. It'll probably be in the next few months. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks for hanging out with me in the shop, and I'll see you next time.